The coaching dominoes are starting to fall, and it has a direct impact to the San Francisco 49ers. So let's talk about it, and let's start at the top with the moves that are being made right now across the league. And let's get into it. Ben Johnson has been hired as the Bears head coach. He is believed to be the number one head coaching target amongst all the searches that are being done right now across the NFL. So Ben Johnson is at the top. He falls with the Bears. It was believed he could be potentially tied to the Raiders, but this Ben Johnson hire, there is a direct impact to the San Francisco 49ers because of this move, and we will talk about that in a second. We'll also talk about how all these moves directly impact the San Francisco 49ers. Lou Anarumo, apologize for butchering your name, has been hired as the Colts DC shortly after we found out that Ben Johnson was going to Chicago. So he was considered to be one of the top DC candidates right now in the entire league, has a ton of respect across the league, currently being the was the Bengals DC. Now he will be replacing Gus Bradley with the Colts. So Jeff Ulbrich, as we already reported earlier over the weekend, he was hired as the Falcons DC. So that was one of the first dominoes to fall. So there was some thought that the 49ers could be interested in him if Robert Saleh fell through and got a head coaching job somewhere else, because the 49ers attempted to hire him last year. So they weren't able to get that done this year either. And this one is interesting because this just came out from Nick Wagner of ESPN, who covers the San Francisco 49ers. He says that the 49ers we're actually interested in Dennis Allen to be their defensive coordinator, but it is believed that uh, Dennis Allen will be joining Ben Johnson as the Bears DC. So the thought is that if for whatever reason, you know, Robert Saleh gets a head coaching job, the belief was that the 49ers would pivot towards Dennis Allen, but it doesn't seem like that is going to occur because he is a Ben Johnson guy. And so it hasn't been announced, like I said, and he'll probably go over there. So we'll have to see how that all plays out. But that circles us back to that guy, Robert Saleh, who is considered to be the 49ers' number one choice. We've already heard reports that the 49ers are willing to make Robert Saleh the highest paid DC in the league. And with the Ben Johnson domino falling, now I think everyone is going to be making moves. The Raiders, again, it sounded like Ben Johnson was their number one target for head coach. So now they move on to the next. Robert Saleh interviewed for the Raiders job. He also has interviewed for the Jaguars job and was believed to be one of the Jaguars' top, potential head coaching candidates. So the 49ers right now remain in a holding pattern with Robert Saleh. And I think 49er fans are praying to the football gods that Robert Saleh comes through. And I'll tell you why, because if he doesn't, I'm not sure that 49er fans are going to love the second option for DC, at least what it seems like it's trending towards. If Robert Saleh, for example, gets hired by the Raiders or gets hired by the Jags, it looks like it could be Brandon Staley as the 49ers defensive coordinator, because in tracking this search, the 49ers have only interviewed, like at least officially, that has been reported on, 3 defensive coordinator candidates: Robert Saleh, Brandon Staley, and Townsend from the Detroit Lions, their defensive backs coach. There's only 3 guys. And Dennis Allen, he's the 49ers said they would have interest in him. He's expected to go to be with the Bears. Jeff Ulbrich maybe was a potential name. He's already been signed by the Falcons. So the 49ers, it really does feel like it's chips in the center with Robert Saleh. And whichever way those chips fall, the 49ers are either going to be extremely happy or they're going to be pivoting to an internal hire. And if they hire Brandon Staley to be the DC, it's already been reported as well that Brandon Sorensen is believed to be the team's coordinator. Something tells that this is the worst case scenario for most 49er fans. Um, Based on all of the comments that I've seen already regarding this search, everything that I've seen regarding Brandon Staley and Nick Sorensen, I know fans are wanting the best of the best. Why wouldn't they? So I think the perception is currently is that if the 49ers were to land on Brandy Lee, uh, it sounds like they would be considering that as kind of settling for that you're already familiar with. And I think the team that I've seen from 49er fans, stop settling. Don't settle. Go for the best. Push yourself a little bit uncomfortable. Push back about, the 49ers trying to continue the wide nine, continue that kind of cover three scheme that they've been running since Salah implemented it back in 2017. And some people were just like, we need a refresh. We need to push the limits instead of just falling back on what we feel comfortable with. So I definitely understand that notion. I definitely understand that thought process, but it is going to make for a fascinating situation. And I think we will probably know, I would assume this week, because like I had mentioned, Ben Johnson was the number one domino. He was the starting point. So now that that has fallen, also Glenn from the Jets, or who was expected to potentially be one of the top Jets candidates for their head coaching job, who is the Detroit Lions defensive coordinator currently, is another domino, and believed to be at the top of the list of potential head coaching candidates. So we're officially off and running now. Again, we were in a waiting pattern because these coaches were in the playoffs. Now that they are out of the playoffs, they're free to sign and free to make their moves, which means now everyone else is going to be backfilling positions based on either their top priorities, second priorities, third priorities, and they're going to go down the list. So, I mean, it's going to be a fascinating situation to see how it plays out for 49er fans and the 49ers in regards to their DC search, because it still appears it is Robert Saleh or bust. And I'm fascinated to see how it is ultimately going to play out, because it could definitely go multiple it could go a couple ways, unless there's like some defensive coordinator candidate that we just are completely in the dark about, and the 49ers are going to just pop it up on us and surprise us. I'm not really sure how that's going to all play out, but hey, at the end of the day, we're gonna see. So let me know what you think about all this and all these updates. Let me know in the comments below, and as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.